it is like trying to save a drowning man. Imagine with me a drowning man. The man fully dressed, boots, shirt, jeans, and this cloak of Christianity. This man knows how to swim. He knows how to tread water. But the waters are too rough, and he has been exhausted from just trying to stay afloat. Perhaps in this scenario, there is an undertow starting to pull him down by the length and the weight of this drenched cloak. The very thing he was awarded when he gave his life to Christ, the very thing he was given to by the church to keep him safe from the elements of this world. That man was taught and believes that this cloak is to keep him safe and that it should never be taken off. But he knows that if he doesn't take off the garments weighing him down, he will surely die. It will pull him down, it will take his last breath, and he won't be able to rise back up. So this too seems like a death sentence, as he was conditioned to believe that this cloak of Christianity was his only way to eternal life. The man starts to see his life flash before his eyes. The thrashing waves beating up on his face remind him of his father, who would beat him black and blue, but did so to make him a God-fearing man one day. Then a flashback of the church deacon who would fondle the young boy after the morning service. Now the floodgates can't be stopped. Image after image of this cloak of Christianity, which was not keeping him safe, but actually causing him to fall further and deeper into the depths of these troubled waters. The minister who had an affair with the church secretary, who was moved to another state to head up another church by the denominational heads just to do it again. The offering plates funded Porsches and mega church buildings instead of pouring out into the community. The judgments of those sitting in the pews who should know better, but somehow their knowledge of the Word of God gives them some kind of pass. He remembers taking his friend to church, a gay man who was trying to find his way to Christ, but the whispers and the actions of the Christians hurt his friend to the point of giving up trying to have a relationship with his Creator. Because if that is how God is, if that is how he is portrayed, how is that any better than the rejection and the isolation that he has already felt his entire life? This drowning man could see himself walking up and peering into the casket where his gay friend lay after taking his own life. He recalls a time he drank with the assistant youth minister while underage, which would kickstart a lifelong battle with alcohol. The drowning man relives all of the stigmas, all the agendas, all the cover-ups. Yeah, this weight will surely pull this man down to his demise. He struggles to keep his last breath long enough to untangle and discard the wet, heavy, tattered cloak. Finally, he is free of the cloak as it starts its descent into the waters below. Now the man could start to alleviate the rest of the weight and perhaps can now swim to safety. He manages to get off his shirt and his boots, but he's so tired and he just has nothing left. All of the fighting the past hour of treading water has left him completely depleted of strength and perhaps even the desire to keep on fighting for breath. So the man, he accepts his fate and he draws his last breath. The man, coughing and vomiting up seawater, takes his first breath. He is somewhere completely unfamiliar. but he could see the sand under his cheek, and he can hear the waves crashing, and he could feel the breeze race over his wet, half-naked body. The man looks around and sees another man near a boat by the shoreline. So he picks himself up and staggers towards the only other person there. Hey, how did I get here? Where am I? He called out to the man in the boat. You were drowning, and I was trying to help you, but you were so worried about your cloak, I don't think you even knew I was there. I begged you to take it off so that I could help you, but you were fighting the waters so hard, I couldn't do anything but remain by your side until I could do something. Once you got that weight off you, exhaustion took over, and you started to slip into the depths. But you were still, and I was able to pull you up into the boat and bring you to safe ground. The near-drowned man hung his head in shame and in disappointment. When he looked down, he saw his bare skin. He saw how the cloak never really protected him at all. Each one of those tears and burns the cloak received were also spread across the man's chest, his back, and his arms. The man is now scared and confused, and he looks back up at the man who pulled him from the sea and says, "That cloak, it was meant to protect me, but you mean this cloak?" The stranger holds up the near unrecognizable cloak. It seemed like it meant so much to you. On our way back to shore, I saw it floating, and I knew you would probably want it back. The near-drowned man is so weary and confused. Look at me. Why would they tell me to keep this thing on if it only brings me pain? Look at these scars. Why would they deceive me in such a way? I thought they loved me. I thought they were trying to protect me. The stranger replies, I used to wear a cloak of Christianity. I too was drowning, matter of fact, in these very waters. Son, many have knowledge, but never search for the understanding. Without the understanding, the knowledge is only their interpretation and conditioning of what love and protection is. It was the very way I was conditioned, the way they were conditioned, as were you. Generations upon generations getting further and further away from the understanding. Those who seek to find that understanding are the ones who are conscious of the assignment. The near-drowned man, just not ready for games. What's the assignment? The stranger holds out the cloak towards the near-drowned man and says, Here you go. This is yours. You might want to keep it. I'm sure it could be cleaned and mended. The near-drowned man replies, No, I don't want it. I want the truth. I want the understanding that you talk of, because without it, all of this was for nothing. The stranger looks deep into the man's eyes. Young man, I think you've already started to understand the assignment. Come sit with me, and I will teach you the understanding that follows the knowledge. Then, when you feel like you have the peace of understanding, I will take you back to the mainland. It will be different for you there than you will remember. It will not be easy to return without your cloak. People will talk, people will assume and gossip, and they'll try to put that cloak back on you. But just remember, when I found you in those waters, you were more concerned about the cloak than you were your own life. And just remember, and never forget, that I was more concerned about your life than I was about that cloak.